Hello and welcome to the video discussions for the preliminary examination of 2021. So this is a series in which we'll be making video discussions on the prelims test series of 2021 of the Rouse IAS. Now you might all be knowing that the prelims examination for this year is scheduled on 27th of June. And accordingly, only 6 odd months are left for your preparation. So it is the right time to start preparing and taking as many tests as possible for the preparation of 2021's preliminary examination. Now, in the previous videos, we have already outlined the main motive or the main idea of giving you these videos. So I'll again summarize the main points. So first and foremost, taking practice tests is very important for one's preparation. And that is because it helps you in identifying what is the level of your preparation, what are your strengths and weaknesses. Also, it keeps a track of your preparation. And again, it is a confidence booster for some, and people who are lagging behind can work on weak areas. So in this regard, our prelims test series for 2021 is up and running, and that will include around 55 tests and current affair tests based on the Focus magazine of Rouse IAS. Now in this video, what we'll be doing is that we will be taking up important themes from those tests that will be conducted in the prelims test series. And we'll be mapping few questions with the previous year questions, and accordingly, we'll give you an idea as to what UPSC has been asking or what is the manner in which UPSC asks the questions in the preliminary examination. So that will give you a good idea and will acquaint you with the pattern of the prelims examination. So in this discussion, we'll be taking up the geography subject, and we have taken up 5 questions from the prelims test series, and we have tried to emulate the questions from the previous year questions. So here we'll be doing the mapping of those questions that have been asked in the prelims test series with the previous year questions. So accordingly, in this discussion, we have taken up 5 questions and 5 important themes of geography, and we have tried to map those questions with the previous year questions, and there are around 13 odd previous year questions that will be discussed in this video. So let us start this discussion for the geography tests. So now the first important theme that we are looking here in this discussion is the forest resources of India. And accordingly, we have taken up this question from our prelims test series, and there are many more questions on this theme in our test series. But first, before solving this question, let us look at the way in which UPSC has asked the questions related to forest resources of India in the previous year question papers. So we have taken up this question from the preliminary examination of 2012, and it reads, particular state in India has the following characteristics. First is that it is located on the same latitude which passes through the northern Rajasthan. Second is that it has over 80% of its area under the forest cover, and third is that over 12% of the forest cover constitutes protected area network in the state. And the options that are given here are Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. Now, if you look at this first statement, it reads, it is located on the same latitude which passes through the northern Rajasthan. Now, you can simply eliminate the option C by looking at the map of India because Himachal Pradesh does not lie near the northernmost latitude that passes through the Rajasthan. However, the other 3 states that are given here, which include the Arunachal Pradesh, Assam and Uttarakhand, are somewhat located on the latitude that passes through the northern Rajasthan. However, when you compare Arunachal Pradesh with Uttarakhand, you will find that Arunachal Pradesh has more area under the forest cover as a percentage of its geographical area as compared to Uttarakhand, and hence Uttarakhand can also be deleted. And this is because Uttarakhand is located in the western Himalayas while the Arunachal Pradesh is located in the eastern Himalayas. And we know that the Uttarakhand Himalayas or the western Himalayas receive less rainfall as compared to the Eastern Himalayas and the Arunachal Pradesh, and hence the forest cover as a percentage of geographical area is more in the Arunachal Pradesh. Now, if you look at these 2 states, Arunachal Pradesh and Assam, and compare their geography, you will find that we normally listen about the Assam plains. So in a state which has plains will not have 80% or more area under the forest cover. Secondly, Assam is the most populated state in the northeastern states of India. And accordingly, a state which is highly populated might not be having 80% of its area under the forest cover. Further, if you look at the geography of Arunachal Pradesh, you will find that Arunachal Pradesh is a mountainous state. And this state has the Himalayan extension in the northeastern states of India. Further, when we read about the rainfall distribution of India, we find that Arunachal Pradesh is one of the states which receives amongst the highest rainfall. So simply by this, if the rainfall is high and the state is mountainous, it will have more amount of forest cover as compared to a state which has plains and is highly populated. And accordingly, we can easily ascertain that Arunachal Pradesh will be the right answer and not Assam. Further, if you look at this question that was asked in 2015, it is also related to the forest resources or the natural vegetation of India. So this question reads, consider the following states, Arunachal Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh and Mizoram. And it reads, in which of the following states do the tropical wet evergreen forests occur? Now we note that Himachal Pradesh lies in the western Himalayas, which receives relatively less rainfall, while the states that are located in the northeastern part of India receive high amount of rainfall because of the Bay of Bengal branch, which collides with the Himalayas in the northeastern states of India. So simply you can eliminate the Himachal Pradesh from these states, and by this we get B and D eliminated. Now the only options that we are left with are Arunachal Pradesh and Mizoram, and if you look at the distribution of tropical wet evergreen forests in India, you will find that C is the correct answer because Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram have the tropical wet evergreen forests which occur in the regions which have amongst the highest rainfall. So simply by looking at these previous year questions, we find that we can logically eliminate some of the options that are given in the questions from the statements or the conditions that have been provided in the question itself. And by that you can easily arrive at the answer. So now let us look at this question that we have taken from our prelims test series. It reads, consider the following statements about the northeastern region of the country which comprises the 8 states which include Manipur, Nagaland, Meghalaya, Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram, Sikkim, Tripura and Assam. First is that this region has 18% of the geographical area of the country. Second, it accounts for nearly 1/4 of its forest cover of the country. And third is that the slash and burn practice of agriculture is mainly responsible for fluctuation in the forest cover of this region. Now we note that northeastern states are very small as compared to other states of India. And accordingly, taken together, these states might not be covering 20% or around 20% of the geographical area of the country. And accordingly, this first statement is incorrect because originally all these states account for only 7.98% of the total geographical area of our country. And if you have eliminated this first statement, you can easily eliminate A, C and D. And the correct answer that comes out is B, 2 and 3 only. Now this question has been created from the State of Forest Report 2019, which is released by the Forest Survey of India. And this particular report highlights that this region has around 7.98% of the total geographical area of the country, and it accounts for nearly 1/4 of its forest covers of the country. And finally, the slash and burn practice or the jhum cultivation is responsible for fluctuation in the forest cover in this region. And hence the correct answer is B, that is 2 and 3 only. With this, let's take up the next question now. The next question is also from the Forest Resources of India or the natural vegetation part. In this, the previous year question reads that has been taken from the preliminary examination of 2016 with reference to the red sanders sometimes seen in the news. Consider the following statements. Now, red sanders was continuously in news in that year because of the high amount of smuggling. And the first statement that is given related to the red sanders is that it is a tree species found in a part of South India. Second is that it is one of the most important trees in the tropical rainforest areas of South India. Now, red sanders was in news in the context of state of Andhra Pradesh, which is in South India, and it is a very general statement and hence it is correct. However, the second statement that it is one of the most important trees in the tropical rainforest areas of South India is incorrect because red sanders is normally found in dry deciduous forest and not in the tropical rainforests of South India. And hence the correct answer that comes out is A, that is 1 only. Now let us look at this question that has been created from the State of Forest Report released by the Forest Survey of India related to bamboos. First is that the bamboos occur in abundance in the deciduous and semi-evergreen forests of northeastern region of India. Second is that Bambusa and Dendrocalamus species of the bamboos are found in temperate conditions. Third is that India is the second richest country in bamboo genetic resources after China. And finally, the National Bamboo Mission envisages promoting holistic growth of bamboo sector by adopting area-based regionally differentiated strategy and to increase the area under bamboo cultivation and marketing. Now, if you read about the bamboo resources from the State of Forest report released by Forest Survey of India, you will find that bamboos occur in abundance in deciduous and semi-evergreen forests of northeastern region of India, and hence the first statement is correct. However, the second statement that is given here is incorrect because these are the two species that are found in the tropical conditions and not in temperate conditions. However, the other two statements are correct. That is, India is the second richest country in bamboo genetic resources after China, and also the fourth statement related to National Bamboo Mission is also correct. So the correct answer that comes out is A, 1, 3 and 4 only. So we see that previously also questions have been asked from Natural Vegetation and Forest Resources of India, and accordingly questions can be asked from this particular section. And accordingly, the State of Forest Report 2019, which is released by the Forest Survey of India, becomes extremely important for us from the preliminary examination point of view. So accordingly, do go through that report, and it has been covered in the Focus magazine, and also do go through the questions that have been included in the prelims test series from this particular report. With this, let's take up the next question now. And the next question that we are discussing here is also from the theme of forest resources and natural vegetation of India. So first, before solving the question that is asked in the PTS, let us look at the question that was asked in the preliminary examination in 2016. Now, this question was related to the current affairs related to forest resources. And it read, recently our scientists have discovered a new and distinct species of banana plant which attains a height of about 11 meters and has orange colored fruit pulp. In which part of India has it been discovered? So it was a pretty factual question and was related to the current affairs of that year. And it was found in the Andaman Islands. Further, if you look at these questions, these were asked in the year 2015 and they are also related to the forest resources and natural vegetation of India. So this question reads, which one of the following regions of India has a combination of mangrove forest, evergreen forest and deciduous forest? And the correct answer in this regard is the Andaman and Nicobar Islands because it has all three types of forests that are found here. The next question reads, in India, in which one of the following types of forest is teak a dominant tree species? And if you have read about the deciduous forests of India, you will find that teak and sal are the most dominant tree species, and accordingly, teak is found in the tropical moist deciduous forest. So by solving these questions, we find that questions are asked related to important vegetation, tree species, and also the distribution of these natural resources and natural vegetation. So the question that has been asked in the PTS reads, which of the following states has the highest number of species of trees in India? Now this can become a very important question for us from the preliminary examination point of view because the number of species is a very important indicator of the biodiversity of that state. And if you go through the State of Forest report in India released by the Forest Survey of India, you will find that Karnataka has the highest number of species and not Kerala. So this is a catch here. Karnataka has the highest number of species and not Kerala because normally we will have a tendency to tick on Kerala because it has high biodiversity, etc. But in terms of number of species, it is the Karnataka. And this has been highlighted by the State of Forest report of Forest Survey of India. So in this it has highlighted that Karnataka has 325 number of species of trees, while Tamil Nadu has 252, Andhra Pradesh has 242, Kerala has 238 and Odisha has 192. So this becomes a very important fact that Karnataka has the highest number of species of trees in India. With this, let's take up the next question now. So now the next question that we will be discussing is related to the configuration of different geographical features on the map of India. So it is also a question related to the direction in which these geographical features are located on the map of India when one moves from either west to east or north to south, etc. And similar kind of questions have been provided in the PTS for your practice. So first let us look at this question that was asked in 2015, and it reads, which of the following pairs of states of India indicates the easternmost and the westernmost state? So simply by looking at the map of India, we find that the easternmost state is Arunachal Pradesh, while the westernmost is Gujarat and not Rajasthan. So don't get confused by such simple questions. And in this, the correct answer that comes out is D, that is Arunachal Pradesh and Gujarat are the easternmost and the westernmost states respectively. However, there are chances that you might get confused with options that are given other than the Arunachal Pradesh and the Gujarat option. So keep that in mind and have a clear idea about the geographical map of India. Further, the next question reads, consider the following pairs, hills and regions, and this was asked in 2014. The pairs include the Cardamom Hills and the Coromandel Coast, the Kaimur Hills and the Konkan Coast, Mahadev Hills in central India, Mikir Hills in northeastern India. Which of the above pairs are correctly matched? Now, if you go through the distribution of hills in India, you will find that the Kaimur Hills are not located on the Konkan coast, and they are located in the Bihar region or in the eastern part of India, and you can see the location of Kaimur Hills here. Further, if you look at Cardamom Hills or the Coromandel Coast, you will find that Cardamom Hills are located somewhere here, while the Coromandel Coast is located here, and accordingly this has also been incorrectly matched. Now, by only knowing that the Kaimur Hills are not located on the Konkan coast, you can eliminate A, B and D, and the correct answer that comes out is C, that is 3 and 4. And simply we note that Mahadev Hills are located in the central India, while the Mikir Hills are located in the northeastern states of India as located here. So clearly, important hills and their geographical locations are very important for us from the preliminary examination point of view. So if you look at this question that has been taken from the prelims test series, it reads, arrange the following passes of Himalayas in correct order from west to east. So we have to identify which one is the westernmost and which one is the easternmost. And the passes that we are given are Sela Pass, Shipkila and Nathula. Now, regarding the Shipkila mountain pass, we note that it is located on India-China border and the famous river Satluj passes through it. So accordingly, if you look at the relative location of these three passes, you will find that it is the westernmost pass among these three. So if you look at the location of Shipkila Pass relative to these three passes, you will find that it is the westernmost pass among the three that are given here. And hence the options B and D can be correct here. Further, regarding Nathula Pass, we note that it is located in Sikkim, while the Sela Pass is located in Tawang in Arunachal Pradesh. So accordingly, the easternmost is the Sela Pass, and hence D is the correct answer, while Nathula lies between the Shipkila and the Sela Pass. And hence the correct answer that comes out is D, that is 2, 3 and 1. So with this, let's take up the next question now. Now, the last question that we are taking up here is from an important section in the geography, and that is geophysical phenomena. Now, geophysical phenomena simply include the cyclones, the temperate cyclones, and the tsunamis, etc. So accordingly, this question has been created based on tsunami, and the previous year question which is related to this theme was asked in 2015, and it reads, in the South Atlantic and the Southeastern Pacific regions in tropical latitudes, cyclone does not originate. What is the reason? So it typically asks the question regarding the absence of cyclones in the South Atlantic and the Southeastern Pacific region in tropical latitudes. Now, the correct answer that was given by UPSC here was that the intertropical convergence zone seldom occurs here. And the correct answer was B here. And if you look at this question, it reads, consider the following statements about tsunami, and tsunamis are frequently observed along the Pacific Ring of Fire. Second is that the speed of wave in the ocean is more in the ocean deep than in the shallow water. And finally, the tsunami is a series of waves caused by earthquakes or undersea volcanic eruptions. Now, the Pacific Ring of Fire is located in the Pacific Ocean in those areas where the lithospheric plates are converging. And you can see here that some of the important plates are converging in regions around the continental areas in the Pacific Oceans. And these are the regions where earthquakes and volcanoes are frequently observed. And as some of these earthquakes occur in the underwater region, they lead to the creation of tsunamis, and hence tsunamis are frequently observed along the Pacific Ring of Fire. Further, we note that tsunami is a series of waves that are caused by earthquakes and undersea volcanic eruptions, which is also correct. The only statement that we are left with is the second statement, that is the speed of wave in the ocean is more in the ocean deep than in the shallow water. Now, the speed of the wave in the ocean depends upon the depth of water, and it is more in shallow water than in the ocean deep. And as a result of this, the impact of tsunami is less over the ocean and is more near the coast, and it causes widespread destruction near the coastal areas because of the high speed of the wave in the coastal areas as compared to the ocean deeps. Now, this is one of the reasons that a ship at the sea is not much affected by the tsunami, and it is difficult to detect a tsunami in deeper parts of the ocean. And that is because over the deep water, the tsunami has very long wavelength and limited wave height. So accordingly, the second statement given here is incorrect because the speed of wave in the ocean is more in shallow water and not in the ocean deeps. And the correct answer that comes out is A, that is 1 and 3 only.